Welcome to the Mic Cheque podcast with our inaugural episode with our guest J Statik, producer, DJ, as well as all his social media content, of course.
I think you forgot a bunch of stuff, actually.
Did I?
Right? He's got, I think, a music website. He's a content creator.
Yep.
What else you got? You got a podcast. Buddy, you're doing it all right now.
Yeah, host of the Frequency and Friends podcast, of course.
I'm down.
There we go. I'm your host, Navi Rai, with my co-host right here.
Anuj D, what's up?
Okay, as we get into it, there's a bunch of stuff to talk about, get through all the processes. But first and foremost, you just got back from a pretty epic wedding.
Yeah, crazy. Two weddings.
Two weddings. Yeah. One of them, of course, of a prolific singer that you've worked with, Karan Aujla.
Mm-hmm.
I had one thing, though. Like, I looked at all the vendors, and they all seem to be, like, our friends.
Yeah.
Bunch of Toronto vendors, guys we all know, all follow. So I was getting to see what they were posting.
I love how you
cool.
you brought that in like ASAP. That's crazy.
No, yeah, might as well.
Why not start with a bang, right?
Yeah. So, Karan's wedding, Mexico, was pretty bomb. Karan spoke to me like, I think it was a couple months ago. He's like, yo, what's up? Like, I need to lock some shit down. Do you know who's good for destinations? I was like, yeah, 100%. There's only one guy, Ixmer the God. And we're like, yo, let's hook him up. Let's see what's up. And then they connected. They hit it off really well. And after that, you know, Ixmer took over and just kind of made the whole thing happen.
Yeah. Shout out to Destoed,
100%.
former employee over here.
They call Ixmer El Jefe in Mexico in certain places.
I call him El Jefe in fucking Toronto.
There you go. That's a big shout out, buddy.
Anuj, I know you mentioned one other thing when we were off camera is that it's crazy how many like connects come from Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like whether it be music industry or even flowing into like the weddings and back and forth, that connection, yourself being a part of it. And a bunch of these vendors, as they came from here, got that kind of like, we have this huge wedding industry here.
Yeah.
You take advantage of it, right?
Yeah.
Like get the right vendors for the right situation. I guess that just
I think with their situation, it was one, and I'm just speaking completely openly, and I'm not sure if it's true, but like if I was a guy that was that prolific, would I want my hometown people doing it? Maybe not.
Yeah.
Fair
Maybe
enough.
not so much. You might know some people out there. You might want to keep things away from people. That's one. And again, this is me speaking. It's like speaking from my own personal self.
Of course.
But then when I was talking to AX6, was like, yo, we're gonna make sure our people shine. And I personally feel like we have the best talent in that industry, like in any industry. Across the board, Toronto holds it down. England's probably fucking crazy too, but still, Toronto holds it down for North America. I think we are the guys that kind of make shit happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Innovators, right?
Yeah, 100%. So then AX talked to me. He's like, you know, I think I'm going to do this, this, and this. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Vendors wise, it makes the most sense. Even when it came to bringing our guys down, he was like, yo, who do you think? What do you think we can do? Who do you think we can bring? You know, he's got a little bit of a DC crowd. Like, what else can we do to make this happen?
That's why Navi and I weren't there, because we're not Punjabi MCs. We're MCs who are Punjabi.
Yeah,
Which is a
I'm
slight
down.
difference.
yeah.
So-
Different crowd, that's fine.
To
It's
me,
all
it's
good.
like, you know, Jyoti, obviously, Punjabi's on
The
point.
best Punjabi MC
Yeah.
there is. Yep.
So like he rocked it, he held it down. Then we had Prince. He's got the energy. He's got the popularity. He did Diljit's opening of a concert. Like he's got
Vancouver.
that thing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Brought him down. He ripped it. Then we had SP and Manit, DJM. I can't say DJ names. It's weird.
It's
but
okay.
like SP and
As long as
M,
they're right in the PDF,
100%.
we're good to go.
Yeah.
they held it down. Like they fucking held it down.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Crazy.
So huge wedding. So do you feel like you played a big part in connecting everyone that went down there?
That's all awkward. But yeah, like
That's
I mean,
We got to
connected.
give credit where it's due, right?
I connected Guttin and Destoed, and I think from there, Ixmer held down the
you
rest of
gave
the
them the main
vendors.
connect.
Yeah,
That makes
but
sense.
like if I'm gonna if Guttin's gonna ask me, yo, I want to do a wedding in Mexico, who do I talk to? There's not a single other name that comes into my head other than Ixmer.
Yeah.
And that's straight from just one, we're with him 24/7, and two, I think everyone across the board, all DJs that I know of, for the most part, when we're DJing, we're doing Ixmer's events. So
yeah.
it is
The
what it is.
experience he gives,
100%.
That's what it is. But I think you're totally right, especially on that concept of the Toronto vendors, the skill level. It's just, we had like the biggest Desi population outside of India, just like concentrated with westernized vibes here with Toronto and Brampton. Obviously, Brampton, Vichamundo Renta.
That's it, buddy.
There we go. But
too many shout outs for JJ right now.
That's a good segue right there.
yeah, right? No, because like obviously with Babu and his song exploding, like there's a reason it came from Toronto. Like obviously other cities do big things and they have artists, but I think there's a reason that Toronto always comes up is that fact of, man, like we have competition here with each other and there's so many of us. So it just leads to competition, breeds success.
Yep.
I can't be a worse MC than a guy at a different company or even guys on our own team.
100%.
Otherwise I'm not getting bookings.
Yep.
And I think that's the same way. And like, that's where guys like Babu and Just Rain all come from.
I think our arts community in Toronto is unlike any other community out there. Like our arts community is insane. We've done like shit from events. Like I don't even want to say shit because it's just I'm putting it in the wrong basket. But like we've done stuff where it's helped our arts community grow to a certain point. And I think everyone's with YouTube, with SoundCloud, with everything, like everyone's been able to prosper on their own, especially in our, whether it's comedic arts to music arts to visual arts to book writing to whatever. We almost have every single place on lock across the brown community, across the hip hop community, across the pop community. Like if you think of the top guys in any community, you're pretty much going to say they're from Toronto.
Yeah.
If you, or they're from Ontario, which is crazy, brown or not.
No, straight up. We got
crazy.
Drake's been ruling hip hop for like 15 years.
Weekend,
years.
Justin Bieber.
I was wondering if JJ was going to say Justin Bieber.
100%. Justin Bieber's a pop god. Like there, you can't even come close to not acknowledging that. Like that, he's fucking on point.
Even like, you know, artists that are younger, they're coming up. Shawn Mendes.
100%.
You know, there's a bunch of people.
Daniel Caesar, Jesse Reyes, like so many undercover, lower, you know, not lower. I don't want to say lower. Like
they haven't reached that level of
popular,
success.
but they're still running the charts.
No, they're amazing. They're absolutely kind of. I think that's why again, and I think people look because we're in Canada, they don't look at it the same way.
Yeah.
Even when I started doing anything in the entertainment world, people are, why don't you move to like LA and New York? I'm like, I don't have to.
Yeah.
Like New York, LA, and then Toronto. That's how it goes in my brain.
Yep.
Like for that world of entertainment or whatever it may be, for Desi stuff, Toronto, I think is top.
100%.
But then if you reach out beyond the brown community, we have things that like every other large city that I just talked about do have, because things like Second City for acting and arts, you can't get past East End Toronto without seeing 3 or 4 parking lots full of New York police cars.
Yeah.
Because we have so many sets here, major movies get shot here for 100%. That reason. And I think it just, it separates us because of that. And us being the only Canadian city that has it, it's always one of those big things. Obviously they shoot in other places in Canada. We have beautiful like nature and
Vancouver,
of course. Yeah. It's one of those things that I feel like goes overlooked sometimes.
Yeah. But I think that was the traditional path to success before was, hey, the Mike Myers, Jim Carrey, everyone had to leave Canada to become famous, go to LA. That path has completely changed now. And it's the internet, right? SoundCloud, as you said, for music producers, YouTube, all of these channels that we have, Instagram, right? Look how many people are becoming famous off Instagram and just being influencers.
Yeah, I think it's more so like entertainment companies, like the larger entertainment companies, the larger management companies, the larger whatever, they live in most likely LA. So if you want management that has that reach, you're going to go to LA. Just Rain. I think I would.
Where is Just Rain?
Yeah. He's working on some shit.
Let's put an APB out on him. Man.
He's working on some shit. I haven't actually spoke to him since he's been off, but I've heard from obviously people around him. Yeah. He's doing some shit. Like he's got something in the works, which is bomb. But speaking on him, like even him based in Toronto, did everything in Toronto, but he always connected in LA, and his LA connects were always, whether it was management, whether it was meeting with people, whether it was like in other collabs that he wanted to do. Yeah. He would always be in LA doing his thing, and then he'd come back. Lily, she's out there all the time. Yeah. Humble, he's out there all the time. Like all these guys are out there all the time. And there's a level of being out there, and then there's the connections from being out there, and there's the management from being out there. I think that's a big role that Toronto doesn't have. But in terms of talent,
talent's all here. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
So speaking on that and your journey itself, obviously you've kind of been around the entire world in your journey, right? From England to New York for studies. Like, can you talk about your journey and where it started and how you ended up in Toronto?
That's crazy. Toronto, England. All right. So I was born in England. Then I moved here when I was like, well, my parents moved here and I was like 3 years old. So I was technically I'm grew up here.
You were raised.
But like
I
still hold it down. I still hold down that I was born in England. I still love that. Did everything here. Went to school for no reason here, which made no sense. Went to university for absolutely no reason.
What degree, undergrad degree were you doing?
Geography and minor in multimedia.
Well, the minor I rate, but
the only reason I had to do the major in geography because there was no major in multimedia. So they're like, major in this, and you'll get the minor in that. I'm like, all right, cool, I'll do that.
All right, so if we ever need a map drawn,
I got you, 100%. Ask me about any city, I'll probably get it wrong. Then after that, my whole goal was to actually do production on some larger level. Yeah. And then my parents were like, yo, just one thing. We don't know what the fuck you're doing. Yeah. Just do one thing. Just go to school, get a degree, and then do whatever you want to do after. Go fucking DJ for the rest of your life. Go do whatever you want to do after. Just get that degree. Got the degree. They spoke to my brothers. Once they spoke to my brothers, they're like, yo, we don't know what he's doing. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
And they said to my dad, they're like, either he's going to hate what he does for the rest of his life and like go work at a regular job or go work somewhere and hate it.
Yep.
Or you let him go do what he wants to do. And if he makes something out of it, he does it. Shit happened. And we're here now. And I feel like we did pretty well. So my dad was like, yo, go. So I went to New York, studied audio engineering, which I thought was a production school, which it was not. And I learned how to come back, learned how to engineer.
Yeah.
And then.
So how'd you learn how to engineer?
Through that school.
Okay.
My teachers are like Wu-Tang's engineer.
Wow.
Was one of my teachers. 50 Cent's engineer one of the head engineers of Atlantic Records.
Amazing.
Was one of my teachers. Whitney Houston's head engineer was my teacher. And then those three were the main guys I remember, like full on. Even U2's mixing engineer, I'm pretty sure he taught at our school. One of the engineers taught at our school.
And how long were you in New York? For one whole year?
One full fucking year.
3 semesters kind of deal?
2 semesters. Probably one of the best experiences of my life, just in general, being in New York and learning music in New York is just insane.
Tell us about New York. Like, what was the vibe while you were there?
It was crazy because it was 100% non-Punjabi. Yeah. It was everything but Punjabi. I was the only Punjabi in my class. I was class president, which made no sense.
Look at this guy, student council.
Class president.
Everywhere you go.
But then I have like, there's like Mexicans, there's Spanish people, there's a Swedish guy, there's a Gala in our class. There's like a whole bunch of like mixed vibe in our class.
Yeah.
And everyone's just learning from each other. I would bring like random ass Punjabi remixes and I'd show it to my teacher and be like, oh, this sounds cool. That sounds cool. That could be better. You should mix this a little bit better. And you just get ideas based on that.
Well, you don't need to know the language. As I've noticed sitting in the studio when you guys are working, that's the first Punjabi word you used this entire time. And I was just sitting here, I'm like, that was rare.
Yeah.
I did not expect that from J Statik. I was like, we're sitting here, you don't know a lick of Punjabi really, and you're fixing Punjabi singers who are fully, your inflection on the end can be a little bit higher, your pitch can be a little bit better. I'm sitting here like, I think he's faking the fact that he doesn't know Punjabi because there's no way you can fix.
I understand. I'm going to fix that. I understand Punjabi, like I'm going to say to the 96th degree.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
But
student council president.
I cannot speak because I sound, as you can tell, like a 100% white guy.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
And I don't sound anything else other than that.
No, that's fair. I say the same thing. That's what Anuj was saying earlier of we're MCs that happen to be Punjabi. But I'm like, when the clients come to us and they're like, can you do a full gig in Punjabi? No.
That's when I call Jyoti.
No, thank you.
Yeah, right literally.
Away. Yeah. There's no chance of that. You just don't get the same performance from us as MCs. Both of us.
You're thinking so much more.
We're thinking about every single thing we're saying. Yeah. You don't want to flub. There's people in the crowd. You always know someone at every party. It's crazy, right? Yeah. So I'd rather, throwing it in, no problem. But really, for me, give me the fusion weddings, which are the wave of the future. I absolutely love them. Yeah. What about you from a DJing perspective? Like, what are your favorite weddings?
I'm not gonna lie, I love my desi ass weddings. I love like trucker crowds. I think those are fucking bomb. Because you get to play, like, yeah, 100%. You get to play everything, and no one gives a shit. Everyone loves their old school. Everyone loves their new shit. Everyone's down.
Yeah.
But there's also a side of me that loves like the fusion weddings because you get to play everything. Like I'm talking like when you get to drop hip hop, reggae, especially old school shit, like it's a vibe unlike anything else.
Such a vibe, man. I think every party should end with some nice 90s reggae.
Yeah, I agree.
Shout out DJ.
Cheers to off camera.
Off camera. We got our sound engineer in the building. Sorry, back to the parties. Can you think of any outside of your own wedding? We forgot to mention newly married man. Congratulations on that.
Congrats. There you go.
Big up Rumman as well.
Yes.
Your wedding itself was epic. But one thing I found, as I was lucky enough to be there, all of Frequency Entertainment was there. So thank you for that. Even though you had so many different, let's call them celebrities in the Punjabi industry, who have great songs, huge songs, viral, there were still no performances.
Yeah.
And
I hate performances.
I wanted you to talk on that. Like, why did you guys go in that direction?
Then it becomes about the, it becomes about the artist, or it becomes about this performance, and it stops the whole dance floor.
Yeah.
And my thing is, if I'm throwing a party, which I pretty much am, it's pretty much a jam. If I'm throwing a jam, I want everyone to vibe, dance, have a good time. I want everyone on the dance floor, which I feel like at the wedding, everybody was on the dance floor 24/7, just vibing and dancing. As soon as a performance happens, you stop. A circle gets formed. People on the outside start disappearing. Everyone kind of is like, what the fuck's going on? Right? Yeah, which even me personally, when I'm at events and I see that happen, I'm like, I like your songs, but I'd rather hear the DJ play it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure.
No, I completely. And again, if it's your thing, no hate to you. Like you do 100%. Your thing, whatever you like at your wedding. But like that was a total, in my eyes, like a vendor decision.
Yeah,
we're at so many events. We're like, how do you keep the dance floor full? How do we keep this party as lit as possible for as long as possible?
3 things. All you have to do is
right.
Put the DJ next to the fucking dance floor, put the bar even closer to the dance floor, and make sure no one stops the dance floor.
Yeah. If you do one of those 3 things, something's gonna go wrong. There's a hitch in your party.
Yeah.
And if you have great vendors, like, yeah, we might be able to save a situation, which is like 70% of what I do when something like that happens is like, okay, I'm gonna try my hardest.
Yeah.
But again, you have put an obstacle in our way now.
Yeah.
But speaking on that, like you obviously have like a little gripe on when people do things you don't like. Yeah. I think we all have things that we prefer not to happen at weddings.
Yeah.
What's your biggest just like pet peeve?
I think mine is, I don't know, there's 1 or 2. I think there's 2 pet peeves. One is personally, don't stop the dance floor. Like no matter what it is. I don't care about a speech. I don't care who the fuck shows up. Don't stop the dance floor. Please, God, do not stop it. Number 2 is, shit, I lost my train of thought. Number 2 was,
you go
long programs.
I swear to God, I'm down with long programs. I love when that dance floor opens at fucking 10 p.m. I'm 100%
loves a long program.
11 p.m. dance floor. That's what it should be always. 11 p.m.
If you have a dancing crowd that will dance for the whole night, max stamina, 9:30 is the earliest you can open your dance floor. And that means you have the best crowd of all time.
Yeah.
They are still not tired from your week of partying.
100%.
Because we're at DC Wedding, we have 6 nights of partying leading up to the 7th night of partying.
Yeah.
And, if you're starting it any earlier than that, you're not closing down the dance floor. There's not going to be one more song. There's going to be no more songs.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be 3 people on the dance floor.
Yeah.
So we're going to be like, all right, cool. Time to pack up.
Yep.
Lights on. Let's go home. If you like listen to us when we're talking, be like, hey, maybe start a little later if your program's short. So even if it's a short program, give people time to drink and dance.
100%.
There's nothing wrong with a drunk audience.
Yeah.
The only reason we even close the bar is so people aren't talking from the bar.
And if it was up to me, I would never close the motherfucking bar.
Yeah.
Never. I would leave that bar open and people could talk over all the fucking speeches. Do it. Not really.
Of
But
course.
like, I get it. The respect is there. But when people are ripped, that dance floor is going to be that much better. It's like going to a club. I think I've said it to almost every client. And it's not to be rude, but it's like treat your reception like a club.
Yeah.
When have you ever gone to a club and not started drinking during the pre-events or like pre-events during the
pre-drink, pre-game.
Yeah, the pre-game type
Someone's
thing.
condo downtown.
You're gonna there's DJ's playing like cocktail music and you start
You're
drinking.
not even there.
Yeah. Just start drinking, have a good time. If you don't drink, go vibe out with people, do whatever.
Yeah.
And then once the program starts, sure, take a little bit of a break or open up the outside bars. Let people go outside, let them do their thing, and leave the inside bars closed. Then once the dance floor opens or once that slow dance starts, close those bars on the outside, start opening the bars on the inside, and transition over.
And you have it all. That's the JJ package, right?
100%.
There. I think the only point that we haven't mentioned also is brides and grooms need to stay their ass on the dance floor. Like when you leave to your bridal suite for 30 minutes for whatever you're doing, please stop that if you want a jam, because people are there for you.
Yeah.
They want to be there for the bride and groom. So if you're on the dance floor, people are having a good time. You're creating that vibe, that whole aura. When you're not there, man, it's October 14th. I've already gone to 9 weddings this year. At least 100%. I can speak in Toronto. I don't care anymore, man. Time to go home. Yeah. You know, let's go eat. Let's get out of here. So please stay on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, you give me incentive to the Kana crowd to eat and go.
Yeah. And I mean, how many times have any of us done that at any wedding? Like you just go to a wedding, you're like, all right, cool. I'm going to show face and then I'm going to dip. But then how many weddings have you gone to where you're like, I'm going to go there, I'm going to dip. And then you go there and you're like, yo, everyone's vibing. Like bride and groom are going nuts. Yeah. Fuck, I'm going to stay. This is bomb. You just end up staying because if they're having a good time, why aren't I having a good time?
That's it, man. They create the entire vibe of the
100%.
night. But I do have a very hard time. It's funny, we were talking about this off camera. Being a guest, like even being a guest at your wedding, I had to like check in with Jyoti, who he was totally fine. But hey, bro, you need anything? Like my wife's like, where are you going, man? Sit down on the couples table, like check in the DJ. Hey, everyone good? Like it's very hard to be a guest, especially like when you're going to a wedding, you know, for someone you care about. You just want everything to go well. It's inherently in you now. You don't know how to just chill and sit down and be
even a wedding where you don't know anyone, you end up at the DJ booth or you end up talking to the crane guy or you end up talking to whatever. You're just like, yo, you good? All right, cool. Let's chill. All right,
let's chill. We'll chill with the crane guy for sure.
No, the vendor mind never shuts off. Even like if I'm at like a club, I'm just like, you know, the audio in here is kind of off. I'm just sitting there. I'm not even a DJ. I'm just like, like what's going on? This
could have been better.
Like this could have been better. The lighting's a little weird. Like what's going on here? Yeah. I attended a wedding and I don't know about you, but there are obviously levels to different vendors. I've gone to like family MC events where they don't ask like a professional. They don't get a professional. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, it's like nails on a chalkboard. Yeah. Have you had to attend an event where the DJ is just
100%
garbage?
Oh yeah, that's fine. 100%. I've been.
You don't have to say names. I'm just saying.
You can say names.
Here's the point. I don't even know the names of the DJs that I've seen at those events.
Shots fired.
But I see it and I'm like, ooh, how did you even pick up whatever you picked up and thought you could DJ?
He went to the school of YouTube.
Even failed. That. There's levels of DJing. There's I'm a great DJ, but I can't crowd read.
Okay.
Then there's I can crowd read, but I can't DJ. Which I'm fine. I'd rather take the I can crowd read, but I can't DJ. I'd rather have that guy at a wedding than have I'm an amazing DJ, but I can't crowd read. Because to me, it's like, what's the point of being able to scratch if you're going to drop a fucking shit song? Whereas I'd rather have you offbeat fucking mixing, but that song is a banger and I'm going buck on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Oh no, crowd reading is an
art on its own
skill.
Yeah. I think it's an art in every discipline almost in the wedding industry, right?
Yep.
As a photographer, you got to know if there's that, family member who wants the pictures no matter what, and leading up all week to the reception, they've got their own family pictures and stuff just to keep them happy. Do that. Like you have to read the crowd.
Even same day.
Yeah.
A same day. Think about a same day. I've always said, like, you're making everyone pause and watch your same day edit, a thought of all the events that got put together, and you have to have everyone watch that and be like, oh, that was sick. That's crowd reading on its own. That's how good you're editing. How good is your storytelling via not storytelling, but through visuals. That's a complicated task on its own.
It's super hard, man. Like I even get to events about an hour and a half ahead of time. I know our DJs are already there usually. Well, most DJs in the city, definitely frequency DJs. But just to read the crowd, see what's going on during cocktail hour, see what's up with the crowd. What, like, are they going to react? Listen, if I try something during the program and it doesn't work, I don't want to be cringe. I'm not going to keep going with it. And that's based on what I know from the crowd. However, there's other crowds where there's people from all over the world attending, and you're just going to get that, you know, whole UN vibe. Everyone's going to be ready and excited to do something because they're reaching out to you as you're walking around. Hey, who are you? How do you know the bride and groom? Yeah. That's going to be a different party, right? So it's very important, I think, in every discipline.
Yeah. And I don't know about you guys. When not every crowd's perfect. We've all had crowds that are kind of like, meh.
Lame.
Just like, lame. Fucking, they suck. Yeah. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like trying my hardest to entertain, and I'm going through it. My goal is always like, let me find one person. Yeah. Let me find one person. You're at a wedding, there's always one person vibing, one table, whatever it is. I had a girl last year at the most boring part ever. She was from the UK. Yeah. Shout out to them, because people, when they come from the UK here, they're ready to party.
Yeah, 100%.
She brought like CDN with her, like little metal whistles to come, and she stood on her chair, this like 5'0" girl. Stood on a chair and was wiling every time I tried to hype up the crowd. And I was like, you're my favorite person.
When you're into it like that, it's a whole nother level.
It makes our vibe so much more fun. Like, if you guys are having fun, I'm having way more fun.
Yeah.
If I'm like, make some noise, and I get, I'm like, oh, cool. Soft claps. Yeah. Go
Soft
home
claps.
kind of crowd.
But sometimes you can't blame the audience as well. Again, if the bride and groom haven't been there all week, if it is October, November, they've gone to so many weddings already. You know,
but you can also tell the crowds that are invited just to be invited to fill a 1,000-person wedding, a crowd that's, how many 300-person or 200-person weddings have we done, which is fire compared to a 1,000-person wedding, which 100%. Is like, why are you guys like? I bet you half of these guys don't even know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, the bride and groom probably don't know their names.
100%,
right? Table 47 and above.
And I think that was a really important thing. I cut a lot of shit out of my wedding. Like, I did cut a lot of people. Like, I feel like. And my family was on board, whereas like, let's focus on the people that we know. Let's focus on the community that we know. Same with her. It's like, let's focus on the people that we actually talk to. I don't want to walk around a crowd and be like,
who is this person?
Yeah. Like I have no idea who you are.
So did you guys have any wedding crashers?
Probably. I have no idea. Actually, no, we did have a couple.
There you go.
Yeah.
How were they dealt with?
I don't know. Well, I'll leave it at, I don't know. I don't know.
That's a good answer.
What's security, man? I didn't need security. I had friggin' frequency. We're good.
We're good to go.
But if you're inviting more than you know, you're inviting your own party crashers.
Yeah.
You're like, yo, here, come crash our wedding, eat our food. We don't give a fuck about you. We don't know, but we have to fill X amount of seats. It's actually the only positive thing I've seen from COVID.
Yeah.
Was that like after COVID, I've just noted they see size weddings are just smaller.
Yeah.
Because they notice they're like, oh, wow, those like small events we were forced to do are a lot more fun.
100%.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah, but I'm happy we're not at that point when it was, 10 people in the backyard? They might have got a DJ. They were not getting an MC, that's for sure. At that point. No, but they definitely got smaller, but I'm still for this year booking 1,000 and 1,200 person large weddings. So
it's always going to say no to it.
No, of course not.
Hell no.
It's there. But speaking of like the wedding industry itself, you've been in the wedding industry, 14, 15 years now itself?
Roughly.
How'd you get discovered?
Jitten.
Oh,
yeah. Empire Entertainment.
There we go.
Yes.
I was DJing a club event in Hamilton. I also went to McMaster. So I was DJing a club event at, I forgot what
Quarters?
the place was called.
It's not open.
Not Quarters, not 77. I don't know what the fuck it wasn't 77. The 77's bomb.
Fat Lounge?
I have no idea what the place is called, but it was some random ass event.
Yeah.
It's probably a Whole Foods now.
There was like a promoter that was kind of whack dealing with it, and I think there was a payment thing issue or whatever. So I think Jitten was like supposed to DJ or was gonna DJ, and then I think he was leaving. I don't know what the whole situation was, but then I started DJing, and I saw him at the bar. Obviously, I know who Jitten is. I'm like, yeah, this top dog.
Yeah.
And then started DJing, and he came up and he's like, yo, you're really good. He's like, have you ever DJ weddings? I'm like, nah. He's like, do you want to? I'm like,
why not?
I'm down. He's like, it pays better. I'm like, nah, I'm down. 100%
There you go.
down.
That's the...
Yeah. He's like, all right, cool. I'm going to set you up. And then we chatted, and then we signed a contract, and then we just made that happen.
Was DJ KSR and DJ Envy, your partners in Frequency, were they also on the Empire roster?
They were. I went to... So I don't know what year it was. I started with him, and then I went to school at New York, and then when I went Jit was like, yo, we need someone to cover these Punjabi gigs because you've been ripping them all. And then Gummell's been DJing for a while. So I was like, yo, are you down? He's like, yeah, 100%. So he took over. And then when I came back, I think it like tripled or doubled. I don't know what, or doubled or tripled. I don't know what the situation was, but it got to a point where we needed a third guy. And then I think Gummell told Jitten about getting Envy. Yeah. And then the three of us were together, started DJing nonstop. And then a couple of years later.
So before we get to the couple of years later, how was that lifestyle as you got into this new basically realm for you, right? Not club DJing, but what was the difference between club DJing and DJing a wedding?
Number one, you're not, well, at that point, you're not really playing clubs. So you're not doing like hip hop and stuff while you're warming up. You're not, you don't have to worry about the next DJ coming on. You're playing the whole event yourself. That's a plus, because you're taking care of everything. And you're not worried about what you play because you get to play everything. Downside is it's not for 3 hours. It's for fucking 7 hours, and you're DJing the whole fucking event, and there's a program, and there's things that you don't know about. Like Jen threw me in scenarios where I had to figure out lights, and I was like, yeah, I don't know what are moving heads? And he's like, yo, how do you not know how to use these? I'm like, scared shitless, but you kind of figure it out and
sink or swim kind of thing.
Yeah. And I'm glad I was put in that situation. I feel like a lot of guys are not put in that situation. There, a lot of guys are like babied on that level where, no, we got a tech for you. Oh no, we got this for you. Whereas him, he was like, figure it out. Like, yo, it's like, why are you calling me? Figure this fucking shit out. And like, not in that rude way, but
be honest.
Kind of in that rude way.
That's how he sounds. To
he's like, yo, figure it out. And I'm like, when you get put in that situation, you're like, well, I don't want to fuck him over. So let me see what I'm doing. And kind of happens.
No, that's definitely, and again, I'll say this outright. Like, I came over from Empire as well, like years later. That like sink or swim, that like do so many gigs because the Empire name, and you're getting them even though you're new at this. Yeah. And you're just there, and sometimes you don't have like a Empire DJ or somebody who's been in the industry a while. So you just figure it out on the go. It makes you get better.
100%.
It makes you get better. Like, hey, do this many events. Like, whoa, these are a lot of events. Oh, I'm so tired. Oh, I'm there. Okay, cool. So now next time I have a gig and I'm sick or whatever, it's not like not a big deal. Yeah. And when I have that one lone event on a weekend, easy weekend. Like, I'm not even stressed about it anymore.
Even some DJs I've seen like that, like you're talking about like complaining or being sick or whatever. I've seen some DJs who are like sick and just canceling. Like, I'm not going to be able to come to this. I'm sick. Like, I've had strep throat. I've had a fever. I've had everything and shown up at a fucking gig and just been like, yo, I got to DJ this. I got tea, honey, bourbon, lemon fucking drink too, just to get me a little buzz.
There had to be some booze there.
Yeah. But like medicine balls to like fucking whatever else. And you got to do it. Like, it's your event. Are you going to ruin your name or are you going to do the event?
For sure.
If you're getting into this and you don't have a rider, like, hey, what do I put in my to-go bag? You're doing something wrong. Yeah. Like, I have a spray for my throat or whatever drink I need to get through that gig. Yep. Suck it up, princess. You need to get your ass to the event, work it. Because if your face isn't out there, you're also promoting somebody else to 100%. Do your job in your crowd.
Yep.
So what's in JJ's rider or in his bag?
Oh, nothing. To be honest, I get everything from the bar. All bartenders know who JJ is. So
I can actually vouch for that in Toronto. My wife has a rule when I'm actually gigging with JJ, I have to Uber that day because I know I'm going to drink and have a good time while I'm getting him drinks as well. So that's for sure. So you guys are having this awesome time at Empire Entertainment. You've brought on your boys and your boys' boy. What's that inflection point where you say, you know what, the three of us should just go out on our own and start our own thing? What happens, and like, how do you go about starting your own company?
I actually think it was Gummell pretty sure it was Gummell that came and he goes, yo, we got so many gigs. Like, everyone's asking about us. I'm like, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's how the conversation went down. It was either that or me and him just randomly spoken and that came out. So my memory's shit, obviously too much alcohol. That was like the kind of general consensus. And then we were like, yo, should we try it out? Like, should we try to do something? And then I think before that point, we always wanted things to progress, like move forward. We wanted like, that whole England style of weddings to come into Toronto. Because England's ahead of with DJing. England's way ahead of the game. Like they know they're bringing shit that's like 10 years in advance.
Yeah.
So I'm watching like guys like Kudos, and I'm watching like these guys bring out shit, and I'm like, oh fuck, man, like they got 2 TVs on a DJ booth. Like how the fuck do we get that over here?
Yeah.
And so we have talks, and I feel like things aren't like progressing where I would have wanted them to progress to. And I think Gummel might have been in the same boat. Pretty sure he was. NV2. And then we had our conversation. We're like, yo, if we're all going, like we all go. And I think we
ride or die, basically.
Ride or die, yeah. Like if we're gonna do this, we all got to do this, because like this is only gonna benefit us. It's not gonna be like, hey, we're superstars, but it's a long growth. And like just like Jitten, that was a fucking long period, and he's still ripping it.
For sure.
So I think we met up at Denny's. Pretty sure we met up at Denny's one day here in Ontario. Corny Park.
Why are those always there?
That's it, man.
Every vendor meeting is at Denny's, whether it be
because it's always open.
That's it.
And then we met, and then we decided, we're like, yo, fuck it, let's do this. And then we had the conversation with Jitten, and he obviously was not happy. I don't think a lot of people would be, which is fair. And, you know, we have a good relationship now. I think so. And from my end, we have a great relationship.
There you go. We'll find out in the comments.
Yeah, I know. And yeah, after that, I feel like we started doing things. Like I went to England, and I know the Kudos guys pretty well.
Shout out to the Kudos.
Straight up,
for sure.
Shout out Kudos.
Love all those
Jazz,
guys.
Joel, H, Harv, all the guys.
You got into the list. I've got in trouble before because they'll forget one. But shout out to all of them.
It doesn't matter. They're not going to.
Rajiv,
Yeah. Don't worry. Everyone's going to be fine.
There we go.
Calm down.
Got you.
Don't get over this.
Yeah, don't get your panties in a twist. Relax.
Knickers.
We've been drinking. Shit happens.
Yeah.
So Jazz's cousin is my cousin's friend's cousin. So there's like a weird random. My cousin's friend and Jazz are cousins. That's how I should have said it. So I was like, yo, I want to get in touch with these guys. He's like, yeah, not a stress. Made it happen. I went to their office. I talked to Jazz. Jazz like, yeah, no stress. What do you need? I'm like, I want that booth. He's like, cool, no stress. Here's the guy's contact. Talk to him. Did it. He shipped it down. It was done within like a matter of like 4 months, 3-4 months. And we were the first guys in Toronto to have a DJ booth.
Wow.
Whereas everyone else is behind a fucking
facade.
Yeah. Or not most. Even then. Then there was no facade. It was literally a table with black tablecloth. If you're lucky, otherwise you're getting
white.
You're getting that nasty tarka friggin' tablecloth that people wipe their hands on.
Oh Lord.
And we had that, came through, and then people started seeing shit like, oh, like it's a thing. Like we should get this too. Yeah. And after that, it was just sky's the limit.
Shout out to him again. Yeah. Hey, I want to do more than weddings, and I want to do even this podcast.
Yeah.
This is one of the things that came about. Like, hey, anybody else down? Yeah, sure. Let's do it. All right, cool. First guest.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, no problem. Let's do it. Let's get it done. All right, cool. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, I mean, there's more companies that have popped up since, right? There was obviously a bit of a monopoly at one point, and now we've moved past that. Although, I think we're still the top in the game. I'm not just saying that because
we are top in the game. That's not even
that's the truth, right? Facts are facts.
Facts are facts.
But my favorite are the people from outside of Toronto. They're like, how do you have such a big roster and everybody has gigs?
Yeah.
We have that many gigs.
That you answered your own question.
Yeah, we have that many gigs. That's just what it is. It's like, oh, you're going to get, like, people were saying that to me as I was picking a team. I was like, all right, I'm going to sit down with everybody and have a meeting.
100%.
And have a good relationship with everybody. Let's do it. And one person, again, I'm not going to name names on that, but they were just like, nah, fuck it, it's not point. And then he goes, yo, like, there's 7 MCs if you join that roster. And I have my own gigs. They have gigs. I'll get gigs.
Yeah.
No problem. And it just became a thing where even when I joined the team, I'm like, what is going? We're always here.
Yeah.
At the studio till like 3 a.m. sometimes, just getting things done.
I have a huge thing about people not accepting competition. Meaning like I've wanted DJs to be a part of this team. I'm like, there's some really good DJs on other teams.
Yeah.
Really good DJs. And I've wanted them part of this team. So whenever I've reached out to them, I feel like the general consensus is, but like I have to compete to get my gigs. To me, it's like, you don't have to compete. If your brand if I feel like if I'm reaching out to you, your brand is pretty strong.
Yep.
Number two, if you have that brand and you have that like belief in yourself, you'll get the gigs. Like a prime example on our team, and I could say this wholeheartedly, is Jax, DJ Jax.
Oh, kill
and
it.
not to just only like put on one
But he's
guy.
a good example.
Yeah.
He's an example that works. And I'm sure there's other examples too. But Jax, we did like a Prodigy brought him on. He was a friend of Prodigy's. They knew each other from before. Shout out DJ Prodigy.
We're shouting out Prodigy because he's in the other studio
100%.
recording some sick songs right now.
You might not be here, but we can.
Yeah.
But if you listen very closely, right, it's a possibility you might hear some unreleased shit.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's fair.
He brought him on board, and then we're like, yo, this guy's solid. And he used to open up for a couple of guys or help a couple of guys out. Then he started getting his own gigs. While he started getting his own gigs, maybe like a year into it or whatever it was, I was throwing some stuff called freak rooms. And I'm sure you guys will figure it out later.
Definitely.
We'll talk about that in a minute. But starting into freak rooms, and freak rooms are just like parties that we do, and we, shoot them. Shout out Lucid, and
big shout out Lucid.
Big-
Sorry,
Lucid.
can we say
I was
that?
leaving after the end, but
Putting this podcast together would not have happened without Lucid Films.
Yeah,
I'll be
Lucid's-
completely honest.
Cam is the god. Cam's the goat and the god.
Dolo provides good comedic
100%.
relief, so
Yeah.
I will say that for
But
Dolo.
me coming out like, hey, there's only gonna be 3 of us on this thing. It's gonna be easy setup.
Easy peasy.
Is that we're gonna start? We said that like 2 hours ago,
Yeah.
2.5 hours ago, and then Cam comes just like, these guys think this is gonna be easy.
Nah.
And
Sets
thank
it up.
God I have a voice and I can MC because I am a horrible AV tech. I was trying to help Cam set up a tripod, couldn't do it for the life
Yeah,
of
man.
me. It is hard work, so shout out to you for sure. But
Straight up.
back to you, JJ, as you were saying.
Jax.
Jax.
Freak rooms, yeah.
So I was doing, I think it was M's freak room at Solarium, and we needed a opener. And I was asking Minnie, I'm like, yo, are you down to get Jax? And he's like, yeah, 100%. I'm like, all right, cool. Got Jax to do it. Em and Minnie both ripped it. Jax to the point where I was like, yo, I'm 100% making this into a freak room on its own, because he fucking destroyed it. And then he came to me afterwards. He's like, yo, the amount of people that have been reaching out saying, yo, you killed it. Yo, you killed it. Yo, you killed it. It's crazy. Then I just had a call with Gummel today, KSR. And he's like, yo, I think Jax is the number 2 or number 1 booked out guy on our team. He's like, since your wedding, everybody's been like, who was that guy? Who was that guy? Who was that guy? How do we get him? Who was that guy? I'm like, shit. And that speaks volumes. I sent him to my boys' wedding. I was there, but like in Mexico, he did my boys' wedding, Juggy. And shout out the firm. And he said, I put him out there. And even I was going nuts. I was like, yo, you are too fire. Like, you're too good at what you do. Like, I don't even know if he's a newly acquired DJ. Like, I've never asked about his history, but his song selection is on fucking point.
No, it is wild. Like, for a guy when I came onto the team and I'm like, I heard of Jax and mixes on SoundCloud, how are they coming? I'm like, oh, cool. This kid's like really good. I wonder what team is. I'm like, oh, he joined Frequency. Great. That's cool.
Yeah.
When I joined team and just attending events, to see this guy's mind at work,
Yeah.
Big shout out to him. Like, he's just
And
doing
he
everything
doesn't-
the right way.
He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke.
Yeah,
He doesn't do shit.
No vices.
He's a sober guy. I wish I had 40 of him. It's so crazy. Don't get me wrong. I drink at weddings too. I wish I didn't, but
Yeah.
I came from a club era. I feel like a lot of us guys came from a club era. Club era is you got a bottle, you're fucking drinking, and you're DJing. I wish I wasn't in that realm, but I am. It is what it is. That's how you get into it. This guy, sober ass dude, and he still connects with the crowd.
No, it's wild to see because I don't drink when I do gigs a lot. Like, I'll have like a beer. It's like whatever. Like, the beer touches my lips and I'm like, all right, party mode's active. I'm good.
Crazy.
And again, like, dries out my throat and stuff. So I'm like, all right, I'm good. I'm good without it. Like, honestly, like, the more the DJ is my friend or somebody we know or some guy on our team, I'm like, yeah, I guess I could leave my car here tonight. Like, it's fine. Like, it happens, whatever. But when I see these guys, they're just a little bit more meticulous than us. I think it's a different style. Even emceeing to sober or like with a buzz or a DJ, I was like, all right, some guys just are better when they got a buzz.
Yeah.
They feel that party vibe. They're in that element and
100%.
they get that way.
I feel like it's the insecurities leave and the stuff that you know you're good at is there. Yeah. That's what my drinks do is insecurities out the door. DJing is fucking full on. Whereas otherwise I'm thinking about everything else that's going on in the room, which I don't want to think about.
Yeah, you got to turn the artist brain off a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, you're trained to do everything. Yep. So you're thinking about everything.
Yep.
And a couple drinks is like, no, I'm just thinking about the party.
Yep.
Like liquid courage, right? That's what it is. So we've talked a lot about DJing, which is definitely, I don't know if it's half of your life even anymore, but there's another huge part of your life we haven't even delved into, and that's producing.
Yeah.
So how did you get into the whole producing space, and was it always the dream?
DJing was always the thing that I got into first because of my brother. Through that, he showed me like old programs like Reason, and actually, that's not old. They're still being used, but they were old then. Got into like Reason and all that kind of stuff, and then after that, we started getting into remixes in high school. So KSR, myself, and another guy, Easy A. Crazy.
I actually have not heard
is that. Is that the Rick Hansen crowd? Though?
Yeah.
There we go.
No, Rick Hansen ran shit, by the way. 100% ran shit. Shout out SP. Ran shit. Like, we were literally, hands down, I'm going to say a lot of it is probably because of KSR, because like he had that West End Video Connect. West End Video? Yeah, West End Video Connect. Like, connect. So when like he was coming out with mixes, he'd have a CD, he'd call like 40 shops and have his CDs sent fucking nationwide. I'm like, yo, how do you do that? That's insane.
Distribution.
He knew it.
I
He had
people
every
outside
connect.
of Toronto ask me like, do you know KSR?
Yeah.
And like by that time I was like earlier, I was in the Nax crowd and I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. They're like, oh my God, you were such a fan. I'm like, where are you from? They're like, Edmonton. I'm like,
he had that whole distribution thing on lock. I did not have that. So mine was like, you make remixes and you kind of learn how to produce, whereas he was like fully like remixing. And I think that was fucking great because it goes hand in hand with DJing. Like you can kind of, he's sick at remixing, he must be a good DJ. So for me, I feel like remixing taught me production.
Okay.
And then based on that, kind of just kept doing it. And school kept doing it. After school kept doing it. And then it was in New York where Randy J, the guy who made Notorious Jut.
Yep.
He's
shout
like,
out
yo,
to Randy, great
yeah,
guy.
straight up, shout out Randy.
It was great to meet him.
I think Randy was like one of my first like guys who gave me a chance and was like, yo, I got a full ass album. I need to get it mixed mastered. You're going to school for it. Can you help me? Because the guys in India don't know what the fuck I want. I'm like, yeah, 100%. Let's do it. Came over. He flew or drove to New York, one of the two.
Yeah.
And showed up. We started working on the whole album. We mixed the whole album down. Everything was great. Then I went back to his place because I think he wanted to, or he added a new song or he changed something. And that was Notorious Jut. And he's like, yo, it's not coming out how I want. I got the chords, I got this, but like I don't have this and I don't have that. I'm like, all right, cool, I got you. Added drums. We added some like string pieces, this and that, all the way through the thing. And then while we did that, we finished the record. And then Gummel was like, yo, I want to put like a thing at the end of my mixtape, like a song or like a whatever, something.
Yeah, to close.
He put Notorious Jut at the end of his mixtape. And that song, when I mean blew up, and I don't think people understand, like it blew up off KSR's mixtape. Like,
no, I remember that
at the end of the mixtape, there's a fucking
it's the intro into
produced song, and then that song went fucking worldwide. And I'm gonna big myself up. The ending, that was a dubstep piece that everyone used to do in Punjabi songs, where the ending's dubstep. Yeah. That originated from Notorious Jut. That was me.
That was
my little take the credit where it's due.
Yeah,
take the credit. I did not know that story at all. I'm so happy.
That is,
it came out today
because Randy was like, "Yo, this is too fire. Can we do this?" I'm like, "Yeah, 100%. Let's do it."
Oh,
and Randy is
such a solid guy.
Randy's taught a lot of guys in Toronto. Like a lot of guys have been like, "How did he do that? How did he do this? He was one of the first guys that was running shit in Toronto."
Yeah.
Oh, he's great. I recently got to like kick it with him properly. Like I've been a fan. Ever since that song came out. Like way back. Like I'm pretty sure I entered to it at my brother's wedding.
That's
like
crazy.
It's just what it was. And
I mean, I entered to it at my own wedding. So
you did actually. Yeah, that's a good tie-in.
And then it was really cool.
And now I know the story behind it. I really didn't understand.
Well, I didn't even choose the song. Rumman was like, "Yo, it's my favorite song. I need to do the song." I'm like, "Yeah, cool. I'm down. Let's do it."
Yeah, no, I got to kick it with him. And he's just like a vibe of a guy.
Yeah,
I would think like you, a guy who's like, successful and dropping a song like that is iconic. I'm like, met him and he's just like a really cool guy to hang out with. We just kicked it, talked some shit.
He's
hung out.
He's the only guy that I know who's from Toronto and has like no ego. He's just down to work. Like if he brought a record to me, he'd be like, yo, can we work on this? I'll be like, yeah, let's do it. If I brought something to him, he'd be like, yeah, I got you. What do you need? Like he's never looking at something for himself. He's never like, oh, can I do this? Can I do that? I want this. I want that. I want this. I said, yeah, let's just do it. Yeah, let's just make shit happen.
We had a whole conversation about like the notoriety that comes with being skillful as an artist. And he's like, I don't like it. Yeah. And he's like, I don't. I'm like, yo, honestly, that's one of the weird things of being like in the wedding scene or Toronto scene. Like if your name gets big enough, man, I can't even go get like a shawarma sometimes in like your neighborhood and somebody knows you from a wedding or da-da.
But speaking of that, what was the moment you knew you made it, like in this whole producing thing?
I still don't think I have.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 100% no. I love where I'm at, but I'm never gonna be the guy who made it because I'm always
continuously.
Yeah, I'll never. And this might sound like fucking cocky, but I'm never gonna be the guy that thinks they're the shit. I don't like being that person. I'll never be that person. I will connect every single person I know and hook them up with every single person I know to make sure they're at the point they need to be. But to me, if the artist community is growing, that's my level of success because then I'm helping do that.
But that's the best way to look at it, I think. And honestly, that's great to hear because it's when you sit and look at even like before this, I'm looking through your Spotify and going through them like, yo, your top 2 songs have something like 23 million streams.
Yeah. Damn. Dropping numbers.
Yo, hey, I do my research.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
I didn't even know that, but I'm fucking down.
No. So it's obviously, I'm up with it. It's Goody Red Challenger sitting at over 12 million.
Damn. Yo, round of applause for that.
Yeah,
that is
2
huge.
million from the last time.
That is huge. 12 million.
Crazy.
And in so far is 11 million plus now. 11,128,000.
That's at 11 million? And Goody Red Challenger is
the number 1 song you've ever produced.
I actually thought so
far.
It's
the number 1 song on Spotify.
I honestly had to double check the numbers. I was sitting here.
I'm going to double check. My bad. It looks stupid pulling on my phone.
But I was checking it so I would have my numbers right.
Guys, JJ's actually checking his phone.
Yeah, that's actually super rare. That was my favorite thing when I joined the team.
Yeah, that Babu.
There you go,
That's
Babu.
crazy.
Huge shout out. 12 million from just a comedic idea.
It's Babu is so talented on so many levels that people don't even understand. Yeah. That guy is like him and Harmon. Babu, arts wise, 100% fucking talented beyond belief. Harmon is like literally the visionary behind Babu. Like he knows. We have this group called the brand. Is it called the brand? No, the Babu Experience, and it's all about Babu's brand and anything that relates to his future songs, his current artwork, to his book, to his whatever. Harmon is very strategic when it comes to what Babu needs to do, but at the same time, he lets Babu flourish, do his thing. Yo, let's work on this. Let's make this happen. Yo, I want to do this. I want to try this. He lets him do his thing, which maybe sounds like controlling, but it's not controlling. It's you do you.
Gives him room.
And then once you have that, let me see where I can place it. And I hope I'm not butchering this because I don't want to.
No, I actually think I think about that all the time. And in like my 20s, all I was like, I'm just going to do the art. And it's fine. The older I get, I was like, yo, you can do the art as much as you want. If you don't put business behind it, it just doesn't go anywhere. Like you can write whatever you want. If you don't, that's why you have management for a reason, right? Yeah. And the fact that they know each other so well and who knows each other better than them, right? Like you have full trust and everything in that situation of, hey, here's my art, do something with it. Because then we all have those stories, or you see all those stories of an artist getting taken advantage of. Yeah. Like there's a bunch of rappers from the early 2000s that are broke. Like that's
straight up.
They got their management. To have somebody like Harmon to be like, all right, cool. So this piece fits here, and this piece fits here. There you go. Art's out in the world in a way that it's, I don't want to say profitable because it's not always about the money, but successful.
Yeah.
All right. So talking about Babu overtaking Karan on your Spotify page, 12 million to the 11 million. How crazy is that?
It's fucking nuts, man. It made no sense. Like literally from him getting some random beat, trying to chase me for a year, my bad. Babu, my bad. Coming to the studio, telling him like, yo, he's telling me like, can we do something that sounds like Notorious Judd? I want something that kind of resembles that. I'm like, yeah, no stress whatsoever. That's easy. Cake. And he's like, so after we're done the song, he's like, what do you think of the song? It's good. Like, I'm done listening to like friggin' the top of the top lyricist, this and that. So what do you think it's on? Like, I mean, yeah, it was good. You know, like I get it. It's good. I think you had a sick TikTok thing. He thought, I know it's going to do well, but I don't know how well it's going to do. In my head, I know it's going to do well. Yeah. How well is it going to do?
Yeah.
To the point where right now, I think I'm at like 700K listeners a month. And I think most of it is Babu.
Well, if you got 12 million overall, that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
To the point where Guttin messaged and he's like, yo, I'm going to quit singing. And I'm like, it's in my head, I'm like, that's hilarious. Because if he's heard about it, yeah, that's insane. Like that means it's not even hit the realm of our people. It's hit the realm of people that are bigger than we can even aspire to be.
And it's hit all over the world. Like my boy is at a wedding in Australia this weekend. Australia, which I know you've DJ'd at, but it's on the other side of the world. You got to take 3 flights. And the biggest song right now there in their wedding season is Gaddi Red Challenger.
So Umar from Saiba, shout out Saiba Fashions.
There we go.
Umar literally sends me a fucking video and he's like, yo, this song is huge. He's at a holy festival in Delhi or Bombay, or I don't know where the fuck he is across the world.
He's in Delhi.
He's always somewhere. And he's just showing it, and it's just Gaddi Red Challenger. People singing about Brampton in Delhi.
Crazy.
That's fucked.
And it's yo, if I was like an artist, like I feel like artists should recognize, man, parody tracks and comedy tracks, they sell.
It's not a parody. That's the part that I feel like people believe it is. It's not. It's not a parody song. It's literally a song about no jats, no guns, no daru, no gun, like nothing bad whatsoever. It's just about having a good time. You own a Challenger, you're from Brampton. It's a cliche, and people going nuts to it. That's the song.
It's so authentic, right?
Yeah,
that's my favorite thing at parties.
Babu. That's all it is.
Is people just enjoying themselves.
That's it.
The vibe's a vibe, and people catch it, and it's a good time.
It's the new Yaran Mulle, and that's fucking nuts. Like, we used to drop Yaran Mulle to get people on the dance floor. Now we're dropping Gaddi Red Challenger to get people on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucked.
I did when I did my first gig outside of Toronto. I'm in like Tampa. Yeah. The song is taken off, but it hasn't hit the full stride yet.
Yeah.
And the bridesmaids come up to me like, yo, MC, can you play Gaddi Red Challenger to start the dance floor? I was like, no problem. Let's do this thing. People are jumping up and down, going wild. I'm like, I didn't even know people outside of Toronto would know this song.
Yo, worldwide.
It's
Mic check, 2 1 2 1 2 1 2.